everybody.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of TFRO, a little mini-so previewing the Florida State Rugby Finals coming up this Saturday in Bradenton, Florida. Now, we already talked to the Seminoles. Now we get to talk to the Bulls of USF, who were their opponents in Saturday's final. We have Coach Austin as well as player Jon Carlo from the crew. Boys, how we doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having us.
I'm well, thank you. Well, tell us, as we've got you, Jon, here, tell us a bit about this season. You got off to a bit of a slow start, but then the wins started to pick up, and you come into this final after a crunching semifinal win over UF.
Yeah. So this season did start off pretty. I wouldn't say rough because we did really have a great start, and we had forward momentum going. But due to some eligibility problems and everything, we had to deal with a forfeit, and then a lot of sustained injuries throughout the season with no bye weeks. Really just built up. And so come the UF game, our last game of the regular season, we ended up losing. But we came back. We had spring break. We recovered, came back, trained really hard, got our guys, we rallied everyone, and we were ready to go for playoffs and semifinals. So I'm really excited for FSU.
Yeah, I think had you lost to UF previously? I can't see those aren't zoomed in far enough, Charlie. I can't see, but I know this. You put up 60+ points on the Gators. What was the difference in that game in the semifinal?
Well, we came knowing that this was life or death for us, especially our seniors. I'm one of them. So I really, really, really put in a lot of work along with the boys. We really just did our best to get everyone to make it to practice, everyone to work off the field. And so we really just did that. We set our heads on winning. We came into UF knowing that they were going to put up a fight, so we really prepared for that.
Austin, can you hear us? Are you all right there?
Let me give a quick follow-up, Ross.
Go ahead, Charlie.
To Jon, that mentality that you just mentioned, that you were going into that game with UF, giving it all, that's going to make a difference in the final, because the final is one of those games that, if you don't have the right mindset, you just won't win that game.
For sure. Yeah. And we're doing the same to prepare for this final coming up. I mean, we are, though we may have swept through UF 65-20, there's no sleeping on FSU at all. I warned all the boys, they're going to be training just as hard as us. So we're going to have to just stay focused and keep working as if this is any other game. But this is a really big game, so we got to work extra. Coach Austin said that he can't hear us.
No, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, I can hear you. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Austin, give us a bit of an overview of this team. What's this team about? Give us some clues here, those that haven't seen you play.
Well, so we've been working. This has been years in the making for us. But really we haven't changed anything since all of the COVID problems happened, and then USF didn't allow us to play in the 2021 season. But we kept on with regular business, where we try to build the culture, and that's what drove us during the toughest parts of the year. And then we had to rebuild in 2022 to now put us in this position that we are in now, which, like I said, not on accident. It's a labor of love for sure in the last few years. So we're ready for the challenge. Gomez has got his guys always prepared every year. They are the defending champ, but we are certainly we're excited for the opportunity.
Who are some of the impact guys we need to keep an eye on if we're watching the game on Saturday?
Yeah, there's for all intents and purposes, our back line has been incredibly dynamic this year with Jon Carlo there leading the way as a senior. We have a couple underclassmen. Mikey Burrell has done a great job this year. Freshman Powell that came from Spain, and even some local guys like Joey, like Franco. They've really stepped up, not only learning the game, but just being good athletes, good teammates. And the forwards, it's the trademark for us at USF is we have forwards that are mobile, but everyone has to be able to catch and pass. Everyone has to have the skills to identify the space. And, we got a couple of big seniors. Matt Bradley is there. Bryce has been a great leader. Derek is the big man in the middle. So, like I said, it's not any one individual that stands out. It's the whole group that's done a great job and are ready for the task.
Good stuff, Austin. John, what do you know? What about FSU? What do we know about them, other than the defending champs?
I know, like Coach Austin said, Gomez is a really good coach, and so he will prepare them. So we're coming in knowing that, and we're just putting in that work. Like any other game, we're gonna do our damnedest to win. I don't know any threats personally, but I'm assuming that they're gonna be just as ready as us. So I guess everyone's a threat. So we're ready to go, though.
It's been a good thing for this season that you guys had all your games live streamed and available to study. Did you study?
Yes, I did my homework. We're making sure everyone else is doing that too. We've been reviewing FSU. I'm sure they've been reviewing us. But yeah, we're looking for their weaknesses and their strengths, and so we're gonna know where to exploit them come Saturday.
I always like to ask about the kicker. Do you have your kicker practicing nonstop? Because in a final, every single point is what makes you win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually, like I said, we try to cover all the bases, and you're 100% right, Charlie. Every point counts, but when you get to this point of the season, all of the big details, all the big movements, and all the big actions should already be second nature. It's all the 1%ers that we're polishing up with the boys, that we're sharpening up with the boys, so that when we need to unsheath the swords, they'll be sharp when we take them out.
I like that analogy. Austin, have you seen a good flow from the Tampa U19 program, and in turn, have some USF players moved on to play for St. Pete and the Crew?
Yep. So that was my goal 3 years ago, taking it on USF, because I had been offered the position over there with the Crew, was to create a bridge between college rugby and men's rugby in Florida, because I think that's where the biggest deficit right now in Florida rugby is in the men's game. The college game is flourishing, and there's a lot of great teams in Florida, but the problem is we can't keep them in state. And obviously because of work situations, they'll go where the work is, but there's a lot of great clubs, men's clubs in Florida, that some guys will not go to, only because what their experiences in college doesn't match what the men's game has to offer. So, what the bridge is to prepare them well enough that they can go into a men's club, and they can be the catalyst of change, not only from the standpoint of standard of play, but also from the culture, because we at USF are trying to change the culture from a rugby songs and drinking with your buddies at the end of a match to making it a proper varsity sport at the college level, offering scholarships and facilities, and obviously a path to professional rugby, which the MLR is doing a great job, and they're flourishing at the moment. So, that's our idea, is to try to give our guys the opportunity and that pathway. But if it isn't available for those guys to be able to walk into a rugby union that's thick and rich in history that Florida has, and still keep a standard of play and competition high. So, there's one guy right there. That's Isaac.
Yes. Speaking of MLR, obviously we've got the Miami Sharks, who are our proud sponsor today of this episode. What's the buzz around the Tampa area regarding Miami, the Sharks? Obviously, it's a bit of a drive, but you guys plan on getting down to a game or two next year?
I will for sure. But likewise, I think it's exactly what Florida rugby needed, for what professional rugby needs. I see you, boys. The boys just jumped out. Now they're running to the house.
Keep safe.
It's exactly what Florida rugby needs in order to jump the level up again. But it's also likewise, it's for us in Tampa. Even when Di Morgan was around, the buzz a decade ago was not only having a professional team in Florida, but to have multiple, to have one in Miami, but eventually get one up here in Tampa as well too. That'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it'd be good to see. We've got plenty of teams in Texas and California, so hopefully we can get a couple here in Florida. Well, boys, I know you haven't got a long trip on Saturday, but best of luck.
I have a quick last question, Rob.
And the weather too. Go ahead, Charlie.
I just want to ask, do you guys actually train for the last 2 minutes when the game is 1 point difference?
Yep. We actually train for all the scenarios that potentially could happen. Thankfully, I have had experience coaching with the Philippine national team, and I had great leadership from guys who coach in Super Rugby that helped to improve my coaching game to say, look, you have to think of scenarios, you got to think of situations, you have to put the boys under pressure and competition perpetually in order for you to expect them to excel and to execute under pressure. If I never put you in a competitive situation, if I never put pressure on you, then when the time comes, remember, you will never rise to the occasion. You will always fall to the level of your training. So like I said, fortunately, I've had mentorship at the international and professional level, so that now I'm able to bring that to USF. So I'm 100% confident that the boys, whatever turns out for them, or whatever shows up, whatever cards flip over, the boys will have the answer.
Okay, I'll be watching you when that happens.
Sure.
I'm sure you also are prepared for if you have to go to drop kicks after sudden doesn't happen and you draw the game and nobody scores.
Sure.
I'm the drop kick king.
But truthfully, Charlie, we're not going to get to that point. Hopefully,
you never know, man. You never know.
I mean? We have trained for it, but guess what? That's not the goal. We're going to try to stick to Plan A.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be a really exciting one.
Yeah,
it's going to be exciting, and I can't wait.
Yeah, a lot of these finals should be great, tight contests, I think, and this one certainly would be one of them. Well, best of luck, boys, and stay safe this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, boys. Go Bulls.
Yes, sir. Go Bulls.
Okay.